Hello, hello. Awesome. How are you doing tonight? Welcome. How are you doing? Welcome, 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 welcome. Hello, how are you doing? Awesome. And tonight we're just going to be asking ourselves any questions, hello. So we're going to, it's just, tonight is just going to be about question and answer. Let me know where you're connecting from. I'm in Texas. So we're just going to do quick 30 minutes. And just so we can talk about, yesterday we talked about starting from zero. We can talk about that today. We can talk about ETFs, real estate, any questions you might have. That's what we're going to be talking about tonight. How are you all doing today? Welcome, welcome. Awesome, awesome. Welcome, welcome. So we're talking about wealth. How are you building wealth? What's your goal? What's your plan? Those are things that we're going to be talking about tonight. Like we're going to be talking about any questions that you may have, either on real estate, on ETFs, or in, being disciplined on skills management, like the four pillars of wealth. Any of those things are the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. Just any form of question and answer you may have, that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Any question and answer on wealth building. So thank you all for sharing the live. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, and thank you so much for following. How are you all doing? Tonight we're talking about ETFs, we're talking about real estate, we're talking about if you have to start from zero to 100 to $1 million, of course we are the $1 million league, okay? That's what we're talking about all of that today. If you have any question, ETFs or real estate, let's talk about that. How you build wealth. That's what we're going to be talking about. And we keep showing up, okay? That's how success is made, okay? So we're talking about ETF, we're talking about real estate tonight, how you can move from a zero to a million. Like, that is what we're talking about. How are you all doing today? Welcome, welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How are you doing today? Welcome. And if you want to come up, let me know, and I can get you up right here. I can get you up right here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. How you doing? It's already Sunday, and are you ready for Monday? Are you ready for Monday? Let me know. Are you ready for Monday? How are you doing? Welcome. How are you doing? Are you ready for Monday? Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome here. And tonight we're talking about ETF, we're talking about real estate, we're talking about how you can turn your income, how can you can move from earning to become an owner, right? Become an owner, not necessarily you become an entrepreneur. That's not what we're saying, because everyone that you are earning, of course, we are rising, getting up tomorrow, getting ready for the job tomorrow, right? So far you're trading your time for money, another person's job, right? It means that you're an earner, right? What makes you an owner? That's your CEO is an owner, right? The fact that you can do your work without you can earn money, right, without being present, that is what makes you an owner. And today, whatever questions you may have, let me know where you're connecting from. I am in Texas, in United States. And if you're meeting me for the first time, I'm a doctor of business and technology. I help professionals build wealth the right way in the right order. I'm a serial investor, so you probably, if you have any question in relation to, maybe you've lost money in stock, or you have a beginner, you've been hearing your friend talk about investing, but you don't know where to get started, or you just have any question, you feel that your income is stuck and you're making so much money, you're working hard, but then it seems that there's really nothing to show for it, right? It's not your fault. That's because we were all taught the same thing in school, which is to earn, not to build, right? And not to build wealth. Hi Ava, and if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel, because here we call it the $1 million league, right? We're trying to get into the millionaire status with the proven steps that have worked. This is not a get rich quick scheme. That's not what we're talking about. Ava, how are you? Where are you connecting from? So tonight, if you have any question, feel free to ask, okay? about, investing, about any question at all. Chicago Chicken, welcome, welcome. How are you? Let me know where you're. Vancouver, welcome. Welcome, welcome, and let me know where you're connecting from. Tonight, we're talking about ETF, real estate, investing, in anything in general, or if you have any question at all, you are making money, but you feel that you are still stuck, you're already frustrated with job tomorrow. This is not get rich quick scheme. That's not what we're doing. You're from Texas. Oh, Ava, I'm in Texas too. Howdy, how are you? How are you? I'm in Texas. Welcome, welcome. That's amazing. You are very, very close to me. And for you might be wondering, okay, I'm talking about to some people. That's because we have the YouTube community on one end, and we have the TikTok on one end. I live in the suburb of Houston area. So that's great. That's amazing. Let me know where you all are connecting from today. Feel free if you want to come up. You have questions about you've been hearing your friend talk about investing, or you're struggling. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, we should figure out how to connect, right? We should figure out how to connect. That's amazing. That's great. That's great. So subscribe to the channel and follow. So if you have any question at all, let us talk about it tonight. Let's talk about it tonight. ETFs, real estate, or you don't even know what that is, or you're a beginner investor, or you've been investing for long, you want to scale. Those are things that I talk about, and you might be meeting me for the first time. I'm a doctor of business and technology. I'm a serial investor. I've been in corporate America for almost two decades. And of course, I do help professionals build wealth, through the right way, in the right order. So if you are working and you see that, okay, you feel stuck. Yesterday we talked about how to if I have to start all over again from zero to 1 million status. Cash. Vancouver said cash. What does that mean? What does that mean? Do you have a question? Let me know where you are all connecting from. How to move from a zero to $1 million, right? That's what we talked about yesterday, and we talked about all of the steps required. Here we call it the $1 million league, right? That's what we're talking about. And these are processes or steps. Dating. Oh, awesome, awesome. So yeah, Cash Vanover, you said cash. What does that mean? What does that mean? Do you have an exact question? So let's talk about what we talked about yesterday, or let's talk about ETF. Anybody has any question on ETF? So let me say ETF simply, right, means that it's maybe you've heard about stock, right? Stock, where people have ownership in a particular company, and you say, okay, I have a share of this company, or I own part of this company. What is the board in the background? Oh yes, because I teach. Whenever today is not about, I'm not teaching a lot today, okay? I typically will go all over on the board where I have, let me show you, since you were asking, but you might not be able to see Path to a Millionaire, the four pillars of wealth, the four pillars of wealth that I talk about. So you would see, how do you get to that? Because you might be wondering, how do you get to that 1 million status, right? Your income is the first thing, right? Yeah, the income is the first thing. Then you're supposed to have your IU savings account, your emergency fund, right? That's the second thing, because protection comes first. What does that one help you to do? It does basically help you to, in case there is an emergency, okay, there's a job loss, or there's a repair, a major car repair, there's health, whatever, you can be able to take care of yourself without any debt, right? Without having to take loan or credit. Remedy, Clad, welcome, and every other person joining. You don't have to. So that's why you have at least 1 month of emergency fund. So this is exactly what I teach. 1 month emergency fund, but you grow it all the way to 3 months, 6 months, right? So that's the Kenny Onis, welcome. Yeah, ever. So that's the income. Income comes first, and if you really want me to walk through it, your income comes first. I always talk about us having at least, try to work towards a 6-figure salary here. So if you don't even have a 6-figure salary, that's fine, but let it be your goal, right? But how do you now get that 6-figure salary if that's what you sow? Because it's part of the requirement. We're saying that we're going to become a millionaire in 10 years. That is it. I have done it, and I'm just sharing my exact blueprint with every other person. Anybody that wants to be a part of it, you can always do this, right? So having your income, then are your savings account in an emergency fund, right? That's the other thing that you need to have. Then having your ETF, okay, emergency fund in an IU savings account returning 3 to 5%, right? And you're wondering, where should you put this? This is, and you're wondering, so Greg, oh, hi, Mr. Gregory, Chicago Lights. Somebody was asking what I have on the board. And hopefully, Mr. Gregory, we can have you up to date. Let me try to even invite you to see if we can get lucky today. Let's see. I honestly don't know. Okay, I try to invite you right now. I've just invited you. Let me see. So I'm just talking about, because somebody was asking, what do I have on the board? And then number three is ETFs, like the basket of ETFs, basket of stocks, where like an S&P 500, like a NASDAQ 100, like, let me bring this closer. NASDAQ 100 is another one. SCHD, which is dividends, is another one. And let me turn this around, since I wasn't thinking of okay, let's see. I wasn't going in the route of teaching today, but because somebody asked for it, so that's why. And if anybody wants to come up, feel free. Okay, I'll send confirm. Uh, Okay, I invited everyone. Anybody that wants to come up, if you have any specific question, let's address it tonight. So I did send it. So, but ETF, like S&P 500, okay, is one. Another thing is the QQQ, NASDAQ 100, SCHD, which is dividends. And of course, the REIT. REIT is another one that I talk about. So ETS for real estate. That's the other thing that I talk about. And of course, those are like really like the four pillars. So one is your income. Two is the IO service account in emergency funds, right? Which is, and the ETS. Then the third thing is real estate, okay? Investing in real estate, because that's going to make the journey quicker. And then the other thing that I talk about is the four F's, which is financial literacy, getting education, financial planning, and of course, financial discipline, because that's what's going to bring about the financial freedom. If that, because financial freedom, living life at your own time. So even if you are making 300,000, you are making 200,000, or that's six-figure salary. What you realize is that you don't have freedom unless you don't have the freedom unless you are working, unless you are unless because you are working, you're trading your time for money. Basically, that's what you're doing. Whenever you, because already some of us are already planning for work tomorrow, right? So far you are trading your time for money, right? It means that you don't have that freedom that you need. Okay, you don't. And that is the goal of everyone, just to have financial freedom. Unfortunately, what we have been sold is, work to 65, get a degree, go to school, get a good job, and they get to pay you. After they pay you, what happens? You work to 65, and you get some retirement benefits, and that's it, right? That's what we were told. But unfortunately, what happens at 65? You probably don't have social security at that time, or at that time you're already almost worn out, because you cannot compare your age 40 to age 65. It's almost impossible, right? You don't have the strength of your youth. You have used the entire of your youth to work. That doesn't mean that you should quit your job. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that, whenever you're working, no, it will not open for me. I don't know why, Mr. Gregory. I honestly don't know why. It just bleed. My heart just bleeds anytime I just try to. Let me try to invite somebody else. Who else wants to light? Do you want to? Let's see. Let me try to invite somebody else and just see if they are, who is able to, is anybody, because I know I've been able to invite some other people and they were able to come up. So I don't know. I always try to. Tammy, how are you? Thank you so much for the likes. I honestly don't know why you can't come up, Mr. Gregory. it's always that sounds somehow, that sounds somehow. I really don't know why. Awesome. But Temi, hi, how are you? Welcome, welcome from Ontario, realtor from Ontario. Hi, Stephanie, how are you? Can see you right there coming through. Awesome. So, I mean, tonight, I believe, I was just hoping if there's anybody that asks questions, but really, those are really the things that I get to teach. So, first is your skill, but it is what you do with that income, right? What you do with that income, that is what is going to make a ton of difference. So if you take some of that income, and if you take all of the income and you just fund your lifestyle and you just enjoy your life, what you or I mean, I'm not going to say that you should not enjoy your life, but if you take most of that income and you just use it for funding depreciating lifestyle liabilities, that's all you use your income from. What you'll be doing is you're just taking that money and you keep working, you know you just keep walking and walking, or and just remain on the hamster wheel, right? That's what just happened. That's what happens. But if you take some of those money, right, use some of it to fund your lifestyle, and you put some of it towards appreciating asset. Can't speak English. Appreciating asset. What you realize is appreciating cash flowing asset. What you realize is that you're going to be able to build wealth the right way, because you're going to take some of those money, you're going to put it in a simple investment like ETFs. Like I say, I don't talk about stocks, just because I realize that I've lost money, and the risk is way higher when it comes to stock, right? The risk is way higher because it's just a function. Of course, the higher the risk, the higher the return, right? So the way you can actually put your money in one stock and it goes up, that's the same way it can actually go down as well, right? So that, but with hi Stephanie, how are you? Are you able to come up tonight? Are you able to come up tonight? Mr. Greg, I don't know what's going on. I really want to bring Mr. Gregory up. I don't know. Because today is more like question and answer. If you guys have any specific question, about what I talk about or anything else, please feel free to request up and I will bring you up. I've been teaching all week, so it just makes sense. It's just helpful if you have any specific question based on everything that we've been talking about. So, ETF it helps you to spread your risk. Um, um, it's called exchange traded funds, right? Exchange traded fund. That is what ETF is. So it's like a basket of stocks. A basket of stock. That's what it is. So you're just basically investing in so many stocks at the same time, right? You're just investing in so many things at the same time. So, and that's the beauty of it. It just helps you to spread your risk across board. That's what it just helps you to do. So that is why I like it. Like an S&P 500 returns about 8 to 12%. Last year it returned 18%, right? So if you put your money there, it simply means that if you put your $10,000 there, it simply means that you would have gotten $1,800 or $2,000 on your 10,000. If you put 100,000 there, you would have gotten how much? $20,000, right? Yeah, you would have gotten 20,000, 18,000 to $20,000 is what you would have gotten on it, right? And it has returned between 8 to 12% for the past 10, 20, 30 years consistent. I mean, averagely, you can't when it goes down. So when they say averagely, right? Because here it is simple, consistent, automation, making sure that, oh, thank you so much for the follow 7. Consistency is the key. Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. That's how you win. Because if you are just saying that, investing at times, the thing about it is investing at times can actually be gambling. You can gamble, you might think that you are not gambling. Okay, it's people on the Las Vegas that or somebody that, if you are just investing and you do not do your research well, you are just putting your money and all of that, without getting the right education, or you are just doing a guessing game. What you're doing is almost gambling, right? But you need to think about, before you put your money in any company, go and do just look at the books of the, just little details. Not because somebody say, oh, go buy this. I'm saying it right now, it's here because I have put money in an S&P 500. You can go on Google right now. Thank you so much for the shares, right? I go on Google right now and just put S&P 500. Like, this is the top 500 companies in America. Like, just simply as simple as that. Put it there and search, and you realize that this is just you get the results right there, right? But a lot of times what we do is that you are investing, and just doing like me years ago, where I lost almost 100,000, right? And because, somebody said, oh, you know what, this penny stock is going to, it looks like it's going to be big in another 5 months. Then you go around and you carry your hard-earned money, your years of your life or months of your life, right? Because they are almost 100,000 is, of course, close to like a years of my income of working that I lost, right? Yes, people lose money in the stock market, but if you are very strategic, right, you do not lose money. Okay, it might not be as quick and as the hypes, and it might not be as quick as the all of those things, like they do options trading, penny stock or whatever, but guess what, you always win if you stay put, right? Think about it. If you put $100,000, let's say you put, hypothetically, you put $100,000 in 7 years, right? The rule of 72. In 7 years, that money becomes how much? It becomes 200,000. While it might be like, 7 years is a long time, yes, but wait, if you in 14 years, that 100,000 becomes 400,000. In 21 years, that 400,000 becomes 800,000. And guess what? In 28 years, it becomes 1.6 million. Just the same 100,000. Put it in an S&P 500. But guess what? A lot of us would think, 28 years is a long time. This is a long time. But guess what? You want to become a millionaire, that's it right there. Now you can have that your 1.6 million and just have dividends. Put it in like an SCHD, like that is going to be returning dividends for you, every cash flow for you, and that can just be your retirement plan. Okay, that can just be your retirement aside your 401k, because of course you're already doing your 401k. Just look at this one on the side, right? That's literally like $10,000 if you put it for the next 10 years, every single year, that is $10,000 every year. If you increase it to 20,000 every year, which is about how much? 10,000, by the way, is $27 every 10,000. That is about $1,000. Well, that's less than, that's like 750 every single month, or 800, right? Every single month. Okay. So if you divide that by 30, you'll be so surprised at that even some of the money that you spend a day, right? It's not even up to that. It's actually more than that. All those lunch and all of those dinners that we get to do, right? All those orders. So I'm not saying we should not order, but just if you think about it that way, right? It might just be the one breakthrough that is stopping, that will take you away earlier in the journey of working, right? Because of course we are going to work again. The 2 days of rest is over. Sorry to bust your bubble. Friday, right? It's already Monday again, and then it's a clockwork. You do it till Friday again, you do it, then you shout Friday again, and then it's Monday again before you know it. And if you keep doing that, you continue, it's the clockwork, and that's it. You are stuck in the system on that hamster wheel, right? It's like a wheel. You are just running the race, and you are running like a rat on that race, right? But what changes the old thing is you saying that, you know what, no, I've had enough of it. I want to just take some of this money, I'll put it aside, I'll put it in cash flowing asset, like the ETFs that I talked about. Even if because that one is easy, I always talk about it, especially for a beginner investor. It makes it easy. Just open a Vanguard, a Fidelity, or Shops. You're good to go. You are just good to go, and just put the money, automate it every single month. It goes in there. Buy VOO, QQQ, SCHD, or buy REITs, and just let it slide, and just keep it there. And just the same way, every morning you buy your coffee, right, at Starbucks, you line up every single money. That's the same way. Just use this, line up your money every single paycheck. let them be deducting this money like clockwork. Your future will thank you. At retirement, you will not be waiting on your children to say that, okay, they're your retirement plan, or, if Social Security shows up, you'll be happy. But if it doesn't show up, you know that you're okay. But at the same time, you also have financial peace. So those are like the strategies I talk about, right here. And if you have any question about that, I'm just going to make tonight very, very quick. I just thought to pop in. And answer anyone's question that we may have. Vis-a-vis, I talk about the 4 pillars, right? Number one is income. It starts with your income. How can I increase my income? If that's your question, you can come up or you can put a comment. How can I increase my income, right? Number two is ETFs that I talk about. Number two, it's actually called smart investing, divided into two things: IE savings account and ETF. So if you have any question, how do I get started? How do I, what are ETFs? Feel free to come up or put it in the comment section. And I'll be happy to answer what that is. And the third is real estate. And you're wondering, okay, so real estate, how do I do that? Right? Or, what does even real estate mean? I'm out of state. Any question that you might have, feel free to come up as well, or put a message in the comment section. Or the 4 pillars of wealth: financial discipline. What does that simply mean? How do I get discipline? Financial literacy. What sort of books should I read? What books do I recommend? Like books like this. Which one should I start with? I'm just a beginner, or I have credit card issues. I don't even know. My finance is just stuck right now. I'm trying to get it figured out. Those are things you can come up and ask any question. And financial planning, questions about Roth IRA, 401k, backdoor Roth, all of those kind of things, trusts, insurance, all those kind of protection that comes with it. And of course, the last part of it, financial freedom. What does it even mean? Should I even be financially free? If you have any question, let me know. Otherwise, we'll be wrapping up the live shortly. Just thought that I should just pop in tonight, just to see if it's more like question and answer time, and not tonight. It's just not teaching, or if there's any topic I've talked about before. So like yesterday, we talked about 0 to a million. How do we, or question you might have about 0 to the millionaire status that we talked about in 10 years, or the $1 million league. That's the other thing. Any questions that you may have, let me know. Otherwise, we'll wrap up the life, and I can go rest and continue with my answering of my comments on my video that has over 1 million, actually going 1.2 million views right now. Please, can you connect me with the wholesaler you use? I'm finding it difficult to get a wholesaler. So the wholesaler that I use, I checked with them already. They said they only work in, they don't have any in your state. I checked with Eric, remember? So it's more like an organization. The wholesalers that I use, they are, it's a whole company in itself. It's a company in itself. So, it's not like the person I'm connecting, it's an agent. It's one of the agents there, and they have several agents. So, but I checked, they said they don't have any. Remember, we did that, right? Remember? So I checked that already. So that's why I said you need to, more like investors in all those investors community, right? You said you did find on Facebook, right? But I will not limit it to that. Can you check if they have properties in Indianapolis? I can check that tomorrow. Yes, I can check that tomorrow. I'm considering buying out of state. Okay. Yeah, I'm considering. I'm considering. Okay, I'll check that Indianapolis. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, I'll check that tomorrow. Okay, and I'll definitely check if they have any agents in, and I'll also check If there's any specific individual, I can also connect with you. If I don't get back to you, please just once I come live tomorrow, just remind me again tomorrow so I can ask during the live. If I forget to ask or I do not have the time to ask before the live, just remind me tomorrow. Awesome, great. Okay, perfect. Any other question? But I'm glad you're taking action, Stephanie. I hope you're taking books, you're reading, you're studying. I know that you're waiting for the training as well, and because we're asking if we're going to be analyzing deals and all of that. So definitely that's the goal. We'll be analyzing the deals, how to analyze a deal if it works, and I mean, if it's a good deal, definitely it's something that we'll be talking about. Okay, that's fantastic. That is amazing. That's great. Remind me, are you this is going to be your first home, right? This is going to be your first. Oh, and if you want to come up, I can bring you up. If you want to come up, let me know. Okay, you want to come up or no? Because I know that at the time you're busy. Oh, I think somebody. Oh, okay. Hey, okay. Hi. Let me turn up the volume.
Hi, doctor.
Hi, Mr. Light. How are
How are
you?
you doing today?
Uh,
I'm
I,
doing all right. You?
I'm well. I'm well. That's
That's
amazing.
good. Yeah. It's really amazing, be with you. You're doing a very good job. I've
Thank
been
you.
I've been following you for I think getting to 2 weeks now, and I see that you're actually doing a very wonderful job.
Thank
You know,
you. That means a
keep up
lot.
the good job. Yeah, keep up the good job.
Thank you.
Um, I know a little bit about real estate, and I have resources and stuff like that. As a matter of fact, I have a property that is rented out right now, but I am kind of restrained due to documentation. I asked that question, I think about 3 or 4 days ago now. And I said, because of documentation, in the sense that, here in the United States, if you are not, even if you don't have your papers, the lenders are actually not ready to lend you money.
Okay.
I get at least minimum of about 10 properties per day. I have wholesalers, I belong to groups. They bombard me with properties and all that. But the problem is, the one that I got it on my name, and I don't want to continue with it. When it's a year and I'm going to transfer it to, I have an LLC, but I could not close on that LLC due to documentation, like I said. And then my plan is actually to move the property into an LLC, when it's up to a year. But I want it, like you've been saying it, I want to do it on a larger scale. When I say larger scale, under a company and stuff like that. There are lenders. I know a lot of lenders. I know Kiafi. The group that I belong to, we have quite a number of lenders that can lend, but they are not ready to lend you money if you don't have papers. Again, there are some of them, the lenders that recommended some companies, for me to borrow from them. But those companies too don't operate in my state. There are about 6 states in the United States that they said they don't. Even if you are in Asia, Africa, wherever, they are ready to lend you money because the property is going to be in the United States, so there's no way you can take the property away. But again,
What
there are
state are
6
you?
states.
What state are you?
Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they are not actually ready to do business with they mentioned about 6 states, to me that they don't operate, even though if you are in Africa, they're ready to do business with you and all that, but there are states, like about 6 of them, that they don't lend money if you reside there. So it's a kind of constraint, just to say. And I tried a couple of people, or again, like you have been saying, if you need to collaborate with people, they must be people of like minds. There must be people that are ready to buy your vision and all that. Probably due to ignorance, a lot of them don't know that property, is the American dream, that, like they used to say, that if you have properties and all that. So they are not ready. I have a very, very wonderful credit.
How about
when it
income?
comes to all the income too is good, but what I'm trying to say is that I don't want to buy property on my name again,
So you are
because
looking at a
you need your
DCSR.
credit.
So you are looking at a DCSR. Is that what you're? Because are you saying that
It
you
could
don't
be,
want
it
them
could be
to?
this, yes. It could be that. It could be all this. What is it called? What's the name of this lender again? We have about 2 or 3 types of lenders. You have private money
Lender
have,
and add money lender.
Add money lenders and stuff like that. But what I'm saying is, those are not ready to lend you money unless you have at least a green card. If you are not a citizen, you must have a green card, right? But they allow you to collaborate with people. What I mean by that is that even if the person is not business oriented, provided the person has, green card and minimum score of 620, you can collaborate. Both of you can form an LLC together. You're good to go. They don't care who is running or whatever, but they just want to know that this person has a green card or something like that. So I don't want to do it again on my name, because the first one that I got it on my name. So I don't want to go the route. And because I got it on my name, if I tell you, I have to do a very good insurance, which is one of the strategies that we learned. Very good landlord insurance, not the conventional insurance. So that even if anything happens, you can, the insurance is going to absorb, there's difference between the landlord insurance and the homeowner insurance.
Yeah.
The one I did is, So, and up to $1 million. So if something happens and all of that. But again, I don't want to go the route of bring your score, bring your pay this thing, bring your bank statement, bring this, bring that, bring all those things there. If you have an LSC, you can still borrow up to about 2 million naira. Without any collateral or anything, or your credit and stuff. So
that's why I said about this. That's why I said you're talking. The only option for you there, when you're using an LLC, is the DCSR. Not LLC. If they're not using your income, right? Because what you're saying is that you don't want them to use your income. We are not even talking about the income of the business. They're going to be using the companies the property as the rental income is what they're going to use to qualify the property, which is DCSR. It's like another kind of loan, right? It's different, another class of loan. It's like we have FHA loan, we have the regular traditional one, which is for the investment property. But what you're saying is that you want the rental income, right? The rent to be what they're going to use to give you the loan, right? Because you don't want to use your income at all, right? Because you can still use your income, use your name and transfer it, right? Every single time. It really doesn't matter. The only risk there is that they can say, oh, they want to do a recall, but 90% of the time they don't do a recall because you transferred it from your name to, to another, to a business. But what you're saying is that you want something that, because that's basically a DCS, and you can do this CSR loan. It doesn't have to be for the business. It can still be on your name, but it's just this CSR. But you don't want to bring your income in at all, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes. I don't
Yeah.
want it to go through my name, my this, my that, my income. Because if you're gonna the route you're talking about right now, if you want to go through that route, you definitely still need your pay stub. You still need your bank statement. You still need your credit. You see, but if you're operating under a registered company like an LLC, for instance, you don't need none of that.
Yeah, but they will still need the income statement of the business.
No, that's exactly the point I'm saying.
They would
You
still.
see,
I'm saying if you're using the LLC, right? You are
yeah.
still going to have the financial statement of the company.
No, that's precisely the point that I'm making. You don't
No-
need none of that. Nobody asks you for that.
When you want
That's the
to,
point that I'm making. They don't ask you for because you have your hard money lender, right? As I speak with you, if I want to use my name, right?
okay,
My bank, because I have a very good standing with my bank. My bank has been pursuing me to come and obtain the loan. They call me every day. They send me mail. Because I sold the idea to them. They want to do business with me. Okay, even before I bought the first one, because I didn't go through my bank, I went through FHA, that first time home buyer stuff like
three point
that. That's
five
what I use in
percent.
buying.
Okay.
But when it comes to when it comes to the renovation aspect of it, I didn't have the capital to do that. So I turned to my bank, and they give me money to do the renovation and all that and all that.
So that's
So
add money lender. So okay, I think you're confusing it. Add money lender, private money lender, all of those ones, because you see that the interest is way higher. Those are not, when you say your bank, it's confusing me, because add money lender, private money lender, those are not bank. They're like, how do I put them? They are like independent. They're not the traditional lending company. They are not like your big mortgage firm that is going to give you 6%. I mean, right now, which is the mortgage rate, 6 to 7%. So are you saying add money lender, private money lender, or you are saying the traditional mortgage company, right? Like the one that gave you the FHA loan, something like that.
yeah, I know of basically three different lenders. The
Okay.
conventional one, which
Okay.
is the regular bank,
Okay.
right? You approach a bank, hey, I want to do this, and that. That's one. You have hard money lenders. The hard money lenders are the one, they will borrow you up to a year. Usually, it's always a year. So when you are borrowing from them, you reach into an agreement and everything. They are going to, borrow you the money, right, to do whatever you want to do on the, that's that. Then you also have private money lenders. You have colleagues, you have friends, you have associates, you have this, you have that.
And then we
They are
have
going to
companies.
sign.
We have companies as well that are
Yes,
private money lenders. Like
yes,
individuals. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be friends
absolutely.
and family. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So what I'm saying right now is for the first one, the conventional lenders, which is the bank, you need for those, you need your what is it called? You need your pay stub, you need your what's the name of this thing?
Yeah, you need
Your
all
pay
your
stub,
your income
all
documents.
yes.
So what I'm saying is
But
that
for
my
those
question
two,
is, Mr. Light,
yeah.
1 second, just so I'm very clear, right? Even if you use, and that's what Mr. Gregory is saying, even with your LLC, if you are still going with the conventional, right? Conventional, you're still going to require the income documents of the LLC of the business.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
because you are
okay.
going
So what you're
conventional.
saying is the private lender and the add money
And the
lender.
hard money lenders,
Okay,
yes.
now that's why I got
Yeah, so that's
confused
what
for
I'm
a
saying.
second. But the interest
Yeah.
rate is very high on those ones, right?
Yes, that's my problem. A problem. It actually depends on the strategies that you want to use, and it depends on what you actually want to do with the property. That is where, the deal analysis comes in. Because when you analyze your deal, that's going to give you a lead as to what you want to do with the property. A lot of people have the mindset that, okay, I want to rent it out. It's not all properties that you can rent out. It all actually depends on, the location, the price, and stuff like that. One. Two, when it comes to the renovation that you want to do, the house you want to sell, the way you renovate it is quite different from the house you want to rent out. They are two different whatever. So that's why I said it actually depends on the analysis. There are properties that you analyze. When you analyze them, you see that, this will go for conventional renting, which is what we call the renters. That is there. Then there is bar. You have bar as well. So if you want to do bar, you can go for all these private money lenders. You can go for all these hard money lenders. But if you are going through the conventional, bank, right? It's probably you want to rent it out and all that because of my point in all of this is that your analysis is going to tell you if you are selling, if you are doing bar, or you are just doing the normal conventional renting. You still have quite a number of other strategies, sellers financing, all those ones are still, are still there and all of that. But for me, the constraint really, like I am saying right now, is the fact that one actually needs, a lender or a kind of collaboration. If one cannot get a lender directly on his name, if there's going to be a what is it called, a like-minded person, because that is where the constraint really is, having a like-minded person. Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know much about this stuff, in the sense that they don't have an idea that it is not just you and I of a thing. It's something that has to do with lawyers. You sign, even if somebody is giving you $10,000 to do business, it involves lawyers. It's not that you're just going to give me the $10,000 to go and do whatever I want to do. No, it doesn't work like that. There must be a lawyer. There must be an agreement you're going to sign, to an extent that, with the little that I know, you cannot even sell the house if your lender doesn't approve of it, because everything is documented. So, but selling this idea to people and all that is really a challenge and a constraint. But when I see you come up, often to talk about this, I'll say, okay, fine, who knows? Let me just kind of talk to doctor. No one can say you don't know, but if you keep quiet, everything will just keep, like, at least last year alone, if I don't get properties, I will get up to about 50. This year, I've gotten more than, in fact, if you need someone, I can even send it. If I have your number, I'll send some of the deals to you on a daily basis.
Yeah.
On a daily basis, like that. So, but the problem really, like I said, is getting a minded person, that's, or people that can, make deal happen and all of that.
I totally understand, because that's one of the biggest constraints when it comes to, remember, when it comes to investing, right? That's why I always, if you see, my first pillar is always like the skill. Like the skill is your income is the first thing, or, some form of income, right? Is the first thing. So like, just to mention what Mr. Gerby said, if in terms of the financing itself, one way is, if all of those properties that you're seeing, is there a way you can have things with the what's it called? Like a form of creative financing, right? Whereby it's almost like a seller financing, and they are now like your bank, okay? And you're just saying that you have that contract, so you can actually consider that. Where the seller, since you have so many deals, right? none will give him a loan without his personally qualified. But he is going to be qualified, right? He's going to be qualified personally, right? But one of the issues that you might have is, okay, you don't want to use your information at all, and I'm wondering, is there a particular reason why you don't want to use it? Because you successfully used it the first time. And yeah, but like owner finance, like the seller financing, if you really have an highly motivated seller, right, and you have the legal documents, that is one of the ways, right, that I would pursue, because you can say that, okay, the rent is going to be this, and you have all of those agreements. Personally, I don't, I just we do individual deals. We don't try to do, partnership and all of those kind of things. Not at the moment, okay? Because it's not something that we have so much, how do I put it? Like I said, we are more like individual, trying to just get as many information out there. Like a lot of people do not have this information. But if I wanted to really advise, I would say if it's still possible for you to use your just the same way like you did you can do like like the FHA, you did it first time. You can also house hack, right? That's another thing that you can do. Do another three, move from that house. If you look for another house that you really, it might not be as quick as you want. Okay, that's another way. Or you can do out of state, right? Because you said they are ready to finance in other states, right? But they're not just ready to finance in oil. So you can look at other states. Those are like some solution, or maybe families and friends. But regardless, it's going to be a lot tougher if you uh, um, uh, except you just have people, because really it's just a function of trust and all of those things now. So it might just be with friends and families first to see, okay, can we combine money, but then there has to be solid solid documentation, because people have been in business with people in the past where I had a bridal business, and the only thing that helped me was, with a very close friend, the only thing that helped me was the fact that, we have all of the documentation tied, and I pulled, in short, in 6 months, he ended the relationship. He ended the relationship that was so strong, and everybody parted ways. I left the business for her, I got my money back, and I moved on. Okay, so those are like the challenges that some people might actually, if you are maybe part of the reason why you see that some people might not just fully be interested in doing things like this. But if we're going to be, if you have families and all of those kind of, they might just be able. But house arc is one way. The other thing is buying out of state, at least if your lenders are going to be able to do it. The third is you can also do, try to see any of those motivated sellers that are willing to do creative financing, right? Like a seller financing, where they would be like the bank, right? Most of them, especially the people that are close to retirement and they are fully paid off their property, they might just be able to be the bank, get it at it interest. Listen, he must create an LLC and establish a good standing with LLC. Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. And that's why I was saying but he's saying that he wants to use a private money lender.
With what I know, you don't even need to establish any good standing. All you just need is your LLC. I have a couple of people that have done, that. At least I can talk of almost about 25 people that have done that. All you just need is just, open your LLC, then open your bank account and put maybe $100, $200. There are strategies you can use to get, money and all, but that's not the issue. When it comes to operation, that's not actually the issue. The issue really is the main lender is where the thing is. I know people that got up to about 75,000 from 3 different banks, and all they had in their what is it called? It's just $100. They just register an LLC, then they apply for. There's a strategy. There's a way you do it that you get the money. It's not about that. I mean, when it comes to repairs, but when it comes to the main lenders, that's where the bulk of the work lies. The main lenders that is going to do, but when it comes to, I know lenders that are going to do 90%.
Okay, hold on. What's at what interest rate? Because I had money lender, private money lender. The last that that I know of, which was in 2023, they were, and the rates were at that time were even 5%, right? They were in the 11 and between 11 and 13%.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
And then how do you, I mean, I know that you said that you have different strategy. Are you using it for Airbnb? Are you using it for group home? Are you using it for...
That's exactly the point that I made earlier on.
Okay.
What is going to inform your exit strategy is your analysis, the deal itself. When you analyze it, it's going to tell you the strategy you're going to use. That's where deal analysis comes in. That is the bedrock. That is actually the foundation of what you're going to do. And that's what I see that a lot of people make the mistake. People are just buying property for the sake of buying property, or with the mind of, I'm going to rent it out or something like that. And when they go into the deal, they now see that that is not what they were actually expecting. All right?
That's because, why you...
Okay, let me just say this. Let me just say this, for you to have come and dish out, plenty of information, helping people and all that. I don't think there's anything that's secret. Let's look at it this way. You have a property. When you do your analysis, that analysis is going to actually tell you that, if, for instance, you see a property in a particular location, what is number one? What is the com in that area? The com in that area and the price they want to do it. All right. So I'm talking about your ARV now. By the time you do all your analysis and all that, and you have that ARV, for instance, there's a property in the market for $200,000. All right. But the ARV is about 345, 320, 330. And your repairs maybe about 40, 50 at most. That alone, you see that you are not keeping such property. It doesn't make any sense to keep such a property at all.
Why not?
Because what you have, the equity you're going to have on top of it after repairs alone is enough.
40,000.
A deal of... Say that again?
40,000 or 30,000 is what, because you're going to pay capital gain tax and all of that. Yes. That's what you're going to be paying. That's what you're going to be getting, or, after you have repaired and you sell, then there's also going to be, there's going to be handling, what's it called?
All those are already in the, you see, like I said, the main thing is your analysis. In your analysis, all those things have been taken care of. Everything you just mentioned right now, and the ones that you have not mentioned, like, for instance, the commission of the seller, the rater, the commission, the tax, even including your utility bills in the house, you're going to incur for whatever month you're going to do it. And
carrying costs
has been taken care of. Yes. Okay. So, like I said, there's a property for 200,000, and they come in that area. It's 345, 350, and all that, and you're spending $30,000-$40,000 on it. You have about $70,000 to play with. You pay this, you pay that, and all that. You have $50,000. For a property to accrue $50,000, you're going to be taking 2-3 years for you to have $50,000 on a property. The average in the United States is 10% every year. The max I've ever seen is 15%, but mostly is 10% within that, region of 10%. So if you now see a property of 200 and you have a com, I still have somebody that made $59,000 on a property within 6 months, right? Which is even more than half of his yearly income that he gets from work, and everything is done within 6 months. So that's the point. You see that does not make sense for you to keep, right? That is one. And you now see another property, for instance, again is $200,000. That property is $200,000, but the come in the area is about 260, 270, and you're going to use maybe about $30,000 to repair it, to bring it to standard and everything. All right, you have maybe $20,000-$30,000 left. That will not make any sense, because if you keep such property, if you repair it and everything, you rent it out, like we always say, in 1 year you're going to have a cash flow, little cash flow right there. The renter, which is the tenant, is going to be paying your whatever, and you still have some little cash flow right there. So you can decide to, okay, because you know that in the next 2, 3, 4 years, you are going to have an average of 10% on top of the 20,000 that is on top of the property again. We are talking about 60, 70,000 in the next 4 years. In that case, you can decide to rent out. You can go with BAR.
BRR strategy.
Yeah. So you can do that again. But the one you talk about seller financing and all that. That means you want to be going out and be talking to the sellers themselves and all that. It's not everybody that have that.
Okay. Let me pause. Seller financing. No, that's not what seller financing is. So you said you have what's it called? You have wholesalers, right? You said they send you, or you have people that you get to like have 50 properties, in a day or in a week. What I'm saying is seller finances simply means that there is a seller that is willing to say that I am going to give you this property, okay? I'm going to be your lender. Instead of you using the bank to be the lender, or a private money lender, anyone to be your lender, you are going to use the seller. Whoever is selling is now going to be the lender. Instead of you paying $200,000, getting money from the bank and paying the seller, this seller is saying, it's okay, give me 20% down payment right now, or whatever agree. Then every single month, just the same way you would typically pay your mortgage, it is going to be this lender that you are paying at this point. Okay? So that's it. And you're not using your credit, it's just going to be like the house, you have it on contract, you're going to be you're just going to have it on the contract on all of that. That's it. So that's what seller financing is. It's not like you're looking for.
I understand that part. But again, anyways, it actually depends on individual. I'm such a person that I don't even want to deal with any meeting the landlord, discussing with this and all that. Whatever property that you see they send to me, okay, my job there is just to sit down, analyze it, and after the analysis, when is the walkthrough going to be? The walkthrough is going to be Friday, Thursday, and all that. And I get there, I look at it, I see that okay, physically these are the properties this is the property, and this and this and these are the things that needs to be done over there and all what have you. Okay, then I make my offer right there and then. I just make my offer.
Okay, so you just have one deal, right? You just bought one, right? What I'm saying is I was just giving the options, like these are other options, right? The seller.
Yes, I know. Yeah, I know. But we are different. Some people are ready to be talking to sellers directly and what have you. Two ways. The only two ways that I operate that I know is that I go to Silo, look at like the one that I got it from Silo. I look at it and everything. I did my data analysis, and after the analysis, I discovered that this makes a lot of sense. I saw it overnight. I was coming from restroom. I just checked my phone. Then I saw that this is then right there I made my analysis. that night. And in the morning, right, that night, it was very soon, coming soon or something like that, that was there. But in the morning when I woke up, it was sold already. It was under contract. When I was like, what's going on? You know, because I sent a text to my realtor that, hey, I saw this property, take a look at it. In the morning, we would like to go and look at it, but we need to make an offer as soon as possible because this makes sense. And he replied, okay. But in the morning at 8 or 9 in the morning, I saw that the property was under contract. Oh, and I just called him back and told him, will you believe that that property is under contract already? He said, really? I said, yeah, go check it. He checked it. He said, okay, we'll look for another one. Let that one go. But the next day, I saw it back, you know, on market. I was like, back on market? I look at it again. Is it not the same property? Then I got in touch with the guy. I just told him, don't ask any question, just make this offer. And that was what we did. And he made the offer, they accepted the offer and all that. We called for inspection and the inspection was done and all that. Unfortunately for them, when the inspection came, there are some items that were, you know, that the inspector said this, and that. Unfortunately, again for them, they could not resist our offer again. So we started negotiation. We gave them a price and they too, they said, no, we are not taking. But again, because that property was sold, was offered, returned, then they had no choice because we were the third people and they just let go. And we just gave them our offer. We disagreed to agree and all what have you because of the price, and it was sold. You know, that one, I didn't talk to the seller. It's just the rater to rater thing. Then the ones that I said they've been sending to me and all what have you, these are all sellers. As soon as they get it, they just forward it to me and a couple of other people too. And they'll call for a walkthrough. If you have a chance, you go there. If you have no chance, you know, just do your analysis and you send your offer to them.
Okay.
Right? But the only thing I'm trying just to say is I don't want to go and be meeting seller and be discussing and all those things. I don't have the time is not actually there for me to do all of those.
I totally understand. So the first deal the first and only deal that you have right now, it's not investment, it's just personal, right? That's the one you got through FHA. And you went through Zillow, which is the normal traditional. You did not even go through what's it called? You did not go through the wholesaler, right? So you have basically, is that the house that you live right now, right?
No.
Okay. So you got that one through Zillow, you used the realtor, you went through the traditional way. But so this is like the first time you're going to go through these other ways. But I'm just saying that, you know, there's so many steps. Even some private lenders or hard money lender, they would still ask for the documents. And for the LLC, but you said, you know, the people, maybe the way they do it in Ohio is different. So I always don't. But for me, on the, you know, with multiple deals that I've handled, they would need something. There's no lender, right, that would.
Okay, let me give you this to let you know that.
No, that's fine. No. I totally.
Are you aware of Kiavi?
Like I said, I do not.
That's a company. They don't need any. All they need is just make sure you have 620 score. That's it. They don't need any other thing. You have your NLC. Once you have 620, is Kiavi.
Okay.
KIAVI.
KIAVI.
If you go to the Kiavi, yes, just go to the Kiavi.com, put in your LSC, and put your score right in there. They will do both the purchase. And I think the Kiavi do up to 70% of repairs.
And what's the interest rate?
Purchase price. The interest rate.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like I said. They are. What is it called?
What's the range?
What's the name? Now that's what I'm saying. They are hard money lenders.
Yeah. What's the range of the interest?
Like 10%, 11%.
Okay. Yeah. So that's why I probably would not do that because I don't do, you know, anything above 6%, it's or 7%, it's yeah. Momsi
Yeah,
asked
because
you
you
a
are not
question.
selling, because you
Yeah.
want to rent out. That's
Yes,
why.
exactly. Yes,
Aha, you
exactly.
see
So
now, you see the strategy
the
that I'm talking
strategy is
about.
different, right? You talk about, I don't
Yes.
even do fix and flip. I don't. I never sell, right? It's not, I go through long-term investing, and I think that's where
Aha.
long term.
Yeah.
Momsi said, do I have a tool you use to analyze deal? So, for me, I use Zillow. Then it's I can analyze it in a second. And when we do the training, if you want to do, I'm going to be analyzing it in there. You're just basically looking at the property. What's the cost of the property? Look at the comps, like the comparing properties within the neighborhood. Once you have that number, and then you would see that will give you then look at the rehab cost, right? Estimate the rehab cost. You had that to it. Think about carrying cost, all of that. Then also you look at what is the rental income, right? We typically try to get close to 1%, but really I do. I at times I get to use the Zillow. Mr. Gregory, is there any, or Mr. Lizy, do you use any tool? But those
Yes,
are
yes,
like,
yes. I have, I have tool
uh,
that to do all of those.
okay, all right. What tool do you
That's
care
going
to
to give
share?
you all your.
You can
That's
give
going
me
to give you all your. What is it called? Even calculate all the 30-year, whatever
Okay. Is this
the
something that you're
1%
willing to
and stuff
share?
like that. It's on our platform. We have a platform.
Oh, okay, okay, okay,
Yeah, we
okay.
have a platform. It's not something that is
Available to
how will I put
everybody.
it?
Okay.
So you have a platform, you just go there, key in your figures, do your due diligence, go there, look at the property, note them, then come back, put it on the platform. It's going to give you, if it is profitable, probably it's going to tell you, oh, okay, this is the profit, the ROI on this, and any IOI that is below $40,000, it is not a good deal. As far as we are concerned, it's not a good deal. But you can use that for renters, If it is
Yeah,
below that, you just go and use it for renters. But anything from 40,000 and above, that's a very good deal. In
yeah,
6 months, you're done with that, and you move to another one like that,
yeah.
in that order.
That too might
So
not be beneficial because whenever we're looking at long term, it's totally different for fix and flip, right? It's
yeah.
totally, whatever we're looking at is totally different. So the two might not be, but maybe I don't know if Momsi is looking at fix and flip. I don't just do it. I just do long term, basically, because whatever strategy I've always seen, it's not here. It's not about like the get rich quick scheme. Not that I think about it
Yeah,
not because I'm
I
against
agree with you.
anyone.
But again, each, based on my own experience, each one of them has its own challenges, and the challenges are not the same. For instance, yeah, it's a good thing to talk about renters, but for the people that have been doing renters as well, some of them can tell you what their experience, are. I'll give you an instance. I have a colleague. We are on the same platform together and all that. She lives somewhere in Minnesota or something like that. I was out here. She called me and said, "Hey, I see this property at this address. Can you check it out for me?" And then I went there, I looked at it. It was, 2 units of 3 beds each and all that. I went there, I took a look at it, I took pictures, everything and all that, and I sent to her. She did her due diligence. She asked me to do the analysis. We compare figures, everything and all that, right? And she got it, repairs it, and after repair, she got a tenant in one. The other one, it took a while to get tenant. As I speak with you, she's in court. Yeah.
Eviction.
She's say that again?
Not it for what?
Because of the tenants. They're not ready to
Make
pay.
payment.
So you have to be going to court to, and she needs to be paying the mortgage.
So,
on that. So you see that.
yeah,
You see that.
So I totally understand, whenever with every business, just the same way with fix and flip, you can also, with we're not even doing comparison with every business, right? There is the risk, or with any form of investment, there's always the risk, right? But the way you structure it, or getting experience, getting structure in place is what differentiates, right? Because I personally, and of course, you would definitely have. It's a matter of time. It's not about when is it going to. It's not about if it's going to ever happen that you get to court. No, it's when is it going to happen. I had 3 evictions last year. The only I had 3 evictions last year, but did he stop anything? No, because literally, it did not. The whatever amount that I lost was going to be half month of the year of the or the time that where I needed to rent it again, right? That's the only thing. But guess what? I've rented that same house for 4 years. If I had an eviction one time in 30 days, I have the security deposit, right? Within 30 days, I make sure that this person, we are already in court within 30 days, and the person is out at the latest for every of the eviction. At the latest, the person is out of the house not later than 35 days, 40 days, So I'm just losing the income of 10 days and maybe cleaning up and moving on. You understand what I mean? So a lot of
Yes,
times
I do.
people get into these old real estate without, getting putting structure in place. So what you realize with this person is, the rent is, let's assume that the tenant did not pay rent on the first, and the person is waiting. Oh, maybe the tenant says, oh, you know what, I'm going to get my paycheck on the night. I'm going to get the paycheck, I'll send it to you next week, next week, next week. And the landlord keep waiting. No, it doesn't work that way. On the first, if the person doesn't pay, by the second, you send a reminder. By the third, you tell the person that, you know what, you get a notice to pay or vacate by on the fourth. On the fourth, if you do not, on the fourth, don't wait. There's no, it's automated. Even if you are I love you to death. But on the fourth, you already get notice to pay on your vacate at your door. Somebody is already knocking and you're already getting it. That's it. Taking picture. This picture will get a reminder again. Automated reminder. You do it one time. Automated reminder by on the fifth, by the fifth, sixth, by the seventh, you filed the eviction straight. It costs $150 here in Texas. $150 is all you don't even need to get anywhere. You don't need to step. It takes you 5 minutes of your time to complete the form online. Take a picture, the picture of the notice to pay or vacate. That's the notice that you need, right? Just put it right there inside in the application. You don't need to get there. You get a notice. The person gets the notice. You get the notice on the other end. They get the notice, they give you the date. Typically it's 21 days. So calculate it. 21 days. So that's like 20 on the 28th of the by the 28th, if you follow the process, by the 28th, you guys are already in court. You show up in court. More 90% of the time or 95% of the time, except for what do they call them? The one that is continuous offender, repeated offender that already knows, those are the ones that show up. By the 28th, you're already in court. They don't, the three of them never showed up. And that's it.
I think my thinking is that the law for each state
Yes.
is actually different.
Yes.
Because the person I'm talking about, the friend I'm talking about, has been in court for the past 3 months now. And they're still there. They're not out yet. So she's paying lawyer. These are the laws. It depends on the law of the state.
I totally agree.
But I agree with you on the point that in every business there are ups and downs and all that. You have to factor all those things into it when you are doing it. It doesn't just come by way of because it's work for this person this way, it's going to work for me that way. All those things, and that's one of the reasons why meeting landlords and all that does not really resonate with me. I just want to go to Zillow. You are asking about properties in I think Indianapolis, and there are properties there. If you go online, you're going to see. If you go to Silo, you're going to see them, and some of them are really ready to play ball. Provided you are ready to buy as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But really, the thing about it, and the other part of it, just to also end, just because if these also help, you are correct with the state. So that's part of the thing. If you're going to buy a property in New York, God help you. Most of the blue state, right? They are more like the tenant friendly. There are some states that are landlord friendly. Texas is one of them, right? So they protect the landlord. Protect your investment. So those are the part of the things that one also looks at whenever you're thinking of investing. Tenant, not the buyer. What's it? Okay, so then the other thing is that how did she qualify that person, right? That's the other thing, because I know my own fault for the eviction that I had. It was because one was I was rushing, okay? So, and the other one was empathy took over me because the lady was pregnant and she said she was scammed or something. She rented from a wrong person and she was the next door neighbor. So, and she was pregnant, and that was the only reason why she was that she wanted to move over. So I looked past some of the things that I would typically not look past, and that's why I had my first eviction in that particular eviction. And she actually paid for a whole year, and the only reason why I even had eviction was because what was even the husband had an injury, so they had to go. He had to stop work for a little bit. That was the reason. Okay, but of course mortgage never stops. So those are like kind of things that whenever you're going into any business as well, you all need to the
Yeah, all
state
those things needs to be factored into whatever you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Again, for instance, you talked about out of state investment and all that. That too has its own challenge.
Oh yeah.
For instance, the person that I talked about had to be flying from Minnesota down here to come and look at the job that he did, because you know how people behave. Somebody will tell you he has fixed this and he hasn't fixed anything. As I speak with you, one of the guys, I think I was traveling to, was it California or something like that? I was traveling and I needed to buy material for him, but because I couldn't, meet up with the time, I didn't want to miss the flight and all that. So I gave him my credit card to go and, use and all of that. Till date, that credit card is with the guy. Till date that I speak with you, the credit card is with the guy. One of my keys to the house, is with the guy and stuff. So these are experiences. All these things are, But again, money doesn't come easy. Like they say in Africa, the money is in the mouth of the lion. So you must be able to kill the lion before you can take the money out of it. So it's part of the business, and you must be rugged to even do that business. So, but it's really wonderful speaking with you today.
Yeah, thank you so much.
It's really, most of the time I was always at work, so I couldn't contribute, but I listened. Anytime you are online, I listened throughout and what have you. Then the other area is the area of investment. You talked about ETFs and stuff like that. Well, the only thing that I have that is a little somehow is when you talk about age. It's good to talk in terms of 20 years, 10 years. It's not everybody that have that luxury of time of 10 years. Some people are already in their 50s, some are close to 60s, and they want to have $500,000. How can people like that go about it?
Oh yeah. So thank you so much for saying that. So two things I would talk about. So first of all, you did mention so you did talk about for the real estate, right? You talked about the real estate. If it's that easy, like if it's so easy to make money, everybody would have made money. Nobody would be doing the 9 to 5. So that's let's just establish that. So for everything, and I'm very clear, it's not just easy. It requires work, right? But if you can do it, or if you get the right education, you get the down payment, you would be fine. Okay, that's on that, right? Then the second thing, when it comes to ETFs, when I say that, two things that you can take out of it is, number one, yes, age might not be on certain people's side, right? However, think about, you have children, right? They Now is the opportunity for them, so you can start them early. That's one. Now, for somebody that is on the older side, you can also do the same thing and put more money, right? Or put whatever that you have. Okay, so it's almost the same. It's like, okay, you want to become a millionaire in 10 years. Just think about, in 10 years, it's we talked about having 10,000, 100,000. If you put 100,000, it doubles every 7 years. Okay, but you only have maybe 14 years to retire. Okay, or you have 7 years to retire. Can you have more that you can put towards it, right? Or instead of doing ETF, it might be like, okay, I'm going to do some in ETFs, then I'm going to put some more in real estate, because real estate the chances of you getting more returns is higher, if you manage it really well, right? But then there's also the managing of it when it comes to long term or tenants and all of that. But if you're doing ETF, really there's no other way around it for me, unfortunately, because the one thing that I know is time in the market, right? So you just need to put more money in there, right? Or put whatever you need to lean forward to put some more towards investing, because the other option is you go for something more risky, which is absolutely not the best, especially when you're closer to retirement, because you don't have time in your end. And if anything goes wrong with that particular investment, it means that you're putting the risk is higher for you. That's why they would always say that a lot of people that are on the towards retirement, they don't put their money in, they put it in the form of, what do they call it, they put lots of more, their 401k, they put it more in bonds, government bonds, rather than put more in stock market, just because they are closer to retirement. Okay, so the only thing I can really say would be, you put some put more in the ETFs, basically, instead of, since you don't have a whole lot of years, if there's a lot more that you can just, dumping more here, or you decide to say, okay, what, this money I'm going to split half and put some towards the ETFs, let it be growing, and put some towards real estate. Or maybe I just don't like picking and choosing stocks, because if I pick a stock, I have lost money in there. So I cannot really, like, because that's the other way. Maybe you buy some stock that would times 10x itself in 5 years, in 10 years. Unfortunately, there's no way I can know that, because it's not one of the, I tried to do it in the past and I lost money. So
yeah, I understand. Quite a number of people run for well, it's actually, what I can say in that aspect is, that again depends on your experience when it comes to the stock exchange market. If you're the type that knows how to analyze a market, you can hardly lose in stock exchange market. Yes, if you know how to analyze market. But again, based on experience, what I notice is that a lot of people buy stock for buying sake, one, or somebody asks them to buy it, or somebody, this Nvidia is this, Nvidia is that, but the truth about it is that you have charts, and charts will never lie. Charts will tell you the direction of the market. If it is bullish, it's going to let you know it's bullish. If it is bearish, it's going to tell you it is bearish, right? as we speak right now, almost all of them are bearish based on what is actually going on in the world right now. And what is happening? What is happening is very simple. People are panic. They don't want to put their money in the market right now because people need. If you even go and look at gold, if you see the way gold is selling right now, you will be shocked. You will be extremely shocked.
I'm not shocked because people are, whenever there's fear in the market, right? People want to put their, no, not sell, not sell. People want to put their investment, they put their money in safe vehicles, right? That never drops, like items. Usually people buy real estate. People put their money in gold, because it's not sitting in the hands of demand and supply of oil or whatever. It doesn't impact all of that. So people take to put it in commodity, because remember, cash is losing its value, right? If it's losing its value, they put it in solid commodity that they can see. So that's basically, that's the same with crypto or something. I'm not selling that, but I'm just saying people want to get out of that stock market because of that fear, right? That is happening. I should send
you are absolutely, you are correct, because what people are actually doing right now is to sell their assets based on what is actually going on in the world.
What asset, by the way? What asset?
Gold is an asset.
Oh, no. Okay. So
silver is an asset, and you still have some other commodities
like that. Yeah. So what I'm saying is, you should not even be looking at, and let me try to get you should not even be looking at the guest. Let me see. I try to invite you, Mr. Greg, again, because the thing about it is that you actually build wealth, right? Because I think the strategy here, it's long term. Just so for us, the market is going up, is going down, all of that. It's none of, I'm not even panicking. Like, I don't even look at my stock, except that, okay, there's red on the street, I buy my ETFs. Basically, that's what I'm just doing. And the standard one that I'm buying every single, automatedly, every single paycheck. That's it. But, because when it comes to think about it, right, this is when we're trying to pick and choose and all of that and trying to look at the chat. When you ask, there's something called timing the market and the time in the market, right? If you try to time the market, your chances of winning is like this. But when your time in the market typically wins. So when they ask Warren Buffett, who is the Lord of investing, the God, that's what they call him, Etherway, right? When they asked him, how did he make money? Which stocks should we be buying? He just said, simply buy index fund. Why are you stressing yourself? Just buy everything. Because when you stay in the market for that long, let compounding let it do the job. I personally, I'm telling you, I lost close to $100,000 doing this chat that we are talking about. And that's why I cannot talk about it. And that's what I'm teaching people.
For real?
Yes. I am telling you, looking at all of this chat, I bought penny stock, I did day trading, I did option trade. My friend, right? You lost $50,000 in 1 week to Tesla option trade. Everything looked like it was going up. Tesla was doing well. That was 2 years ago. But she lost it to option trading. Looking at the chart looked perfect. I am not kidding. By the time within 1 week, that money reduced to $1,000. In short, in anger, she left the $1,000 there. Let it just all go. So that's why I don't even talk about it. You're looking at the chart. Trust me. Who knew as of February, right? Who knew that there was going to be unrest in the Middle East? Who knew that there's going to the Strait of Hormuz is going to be it's going to happen? Nobody knew. There was no chat. Everything was bullish at that point. How come it became from bullish to bearish all overnight? So because except you are God, nobody saw it. Even the best of the best investors, nobody saw 2008 except for one person. That 2008 whatever. Nobody saw it except for one person. That was only one because everything was up, and everything crashed in one overnight. The stock market lost, was it 60% or something in one day? Who saw COVID coming? Nobody except. So, what do you do in terms of building wealth? Just keep it consistently. Right, Mr. Gregory, I tried to invite you, but I did not. Mr. Gregory is, he's retired at 52, and I'm trying to invite him, and he just said the same thing. That's what is. I've asked because I keep. Why did I switch, or why am I talking about this? Right, I learned it from the book, which is as a doctor of business and technology. At the same time, from experience, until you lose strong money, even then you will know that, okay, you know what, that chart is good. It's good for people that want to do the chart. For me, I would go with people that have succeeded. Like Warren Buffett, he has 1.6 billion, right? 1.6. He owns the biggest firm, Hathaway, right? He's 96. Then I will listen to that. S&P 500 has returned 8 to 12% consistently, averagely, for the past 10, 20, 30 years. I would take my 10% and call it a day versus lose my $100,000. So that's for me. I was for people that are high risk, right? Or they are okay to lose. For me, I will go with something that is steady, because you see this mindset of the get rich quick scheme. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, sir, but I'm just saying get rich quick scheme, because watching this chat, all of these things is part of the reason why investing, it looks complicated. Just let us just do simple compound interest, like double your money every 7 years. That's enough. Just put money in Roth IRA, max it to 7,500. That's enough. Those are like, so for me, and because here, because I've lost money, you can feel the pain and the passion in my voice, right? Because I have been there.
Precisely, I think I understand you, very well. But again, I'm glad, when I hear you're a doctor of business and, technology as well and all that. The only thing I just need to add at that particular point in time is, when I talk about charts, I'm sure there are people that their business, where they make thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on a daily basis. This chart you are talking about.
Yes.
Thousands of dollars.
And lose as well. And lose thousands and thousands of dollars as well, that they will not.
Yes. Yes. But again, just like you are saying, these people you are talking about, they make calculated risk. For instance, I know a couple of guys that in 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 1 hour, they make like $100,000, right? And they make it like that consistently, like for 10, 15 days. And if they want to lose, they just look $100,000 for 1 day like that. The following day, they go back to the market and they make their money back. They live large, but that is based on what they know and the way they trade. Right. The good thing I love about the issue of chart is that you make money both ways. But the one you are talking about is one way. You are getting my point right now. The one you are talking about is one way, which is the aspect of buying and consolidating over time. But then when he's selling, they make money. When he's buying, they make money. Both sides, they make money. Why? Because it is their job. Again, like I said, I give it to you, a very, very, very big one. I give it to you because you are doing a wonderful job by liberating people, right?
Thank you.
This is just the one you are doing right now. This is just an aspect of how to make money as well. There are so many other areas in the area of charts and everything. Like I said, there are people that in a day, all they just look for is $500 and they make their $500, they leave the market. Just 1 day, they don't go 1,000, 2,000. All they just want to make is 500. And there are people that want to make just under $200 1 day. They are not waiting for, and some of them, they are not even using their money. They are using OPM.
Okay. All right. See. Okay. Let me see here. Right
It's really
here.
interesting speaking with
Okay.
you
So
tonight,
here.
doctor.
Okay. Here we build lasting wealth. Right. Something that
Yes.
is solid. Okay. It's not about $500. You get it today. You get it. It goes down tomorrow. Why I totally, really, really respect those people that do that. Okay. But here I talk about it's more of how you build wealth that is lasting
Consistent.
and consistent,
Yeah.
structure, because everything is about structure. I cannot do, okay, you make $500 today, then tomorrow you lose $100. You just want to make $100. I don't think you're building wealth, okay? Right. I don't think you're building wealth, and that's why I don't talk about fix and flip. I always say that I'm not here. It's not about get rich quick scheme. If it's you want to get some quick money out, no, or you want to get you want to just get some quick cash from what's it called, day trading. And some communities are more like that, right? But here it's about consistent, something that you can teach your children, something that, because I don't think you want to do day trading and something happens tomorrow, you lose money, and you want to gamble your kids college fund. Because here we'll talk about kids college fund, how can we use it to fund kids education, right? I can't, it's something that I cannot gamble when it comes to, we put it in day trading, or but I respect those people that do that. But here it's about, for me, it's about structure, right? It's about consistency. It's about what has worked for, what has worked for me. I tell you where I've lost money. I tell you what have helped me, and I'm just sharing that. Okay, why I respect
Yeah,
those
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah.
so that
I think the issue of chat, to be honest, the issue of chat is a different ball game
oh
altogether.
yeah,
It's
and
another line of business
yeah,
altogether. It has nothing to do, we just go into chat to talk about that one. It's another line of
oh
business.
yeah,
And the truth about it is that, except you are on that line, when somebody say it to you, it will be like the person is just talking Greek or French or something like that. I could
trust
see
me.
Greg saying that those people doing it have a lot of money. That's a myth.
Okay, all right.
Do
So
you
thing
understand?
is,
So that's why I don't want to go into that one. That's a myth.
I
I know of people, even myself. Let me even tell you about myself. Even myself, you use just $250 to buy an account of $100,000.
okay,
Once you know how to trade, you trade it, you pass. Right?
okay,
The way it works is that, okay, you buy that account for $250, 100,000 account, $100,000 account. You buy for $250, right? But they mandate you to make 5% of that amount, of that, to know that, oh, this person knows how to trade. The account they're going to give you is not going to be a real account. It's a
yeah.
demo account. They just want to
Okay,
ensure
so
that you know.
sorry, Mr. Light. I need
Do you
to.
understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So I'm just trying to go. Yes.
I need to cut you on. Because like I said, just so, because some people might just be going through, just so they would not get confused. Okay.
Okay.
So because we don't do that in this, in this
Yeah,
community.
I
Here
understand.
is about consistency. Simple
Yeah.
way, something that is structured, something that is lasting, moderate risk, not high risk, okay? Moderate to low, right? That's what we talk about here within this community. But I really, really appreciate those perspectives about the day trading, about all of those kind of things. I appreciate that. However, for everyone that's here, including you, Mr. Light, we're talking about we building $1 million league, the consistent way,
Yeah.
right? Simple way, structured way, that something you can actually pass on. Remember, somebody like a Rockefeller, even if you don't get there, right? You are something you can, we're talking about things like trust, we're talking about, things about probate, we're talking about emergency fund, we talk about, we talk about real estate, like of course investing, the real investing, not fix and flip. We definitely talk about smart investing. All right, so that is it. We keep the risk moderate to low. That's what we have here, moderate to low, not high. Okay, because we don't want to lose anything. We protection comes first here. Protection. Every other thing now sits after, right? So that's what we, if you are just meeting us for the
That's
first time, Mr. Light, thank you
yeah,
so much for that perspective, and
yeah.
for every other person that just came through tonight. Really appreciate it, Mr. Grady. Thank you so much for your. Somebody requested. Okay, let's wrap up. I'm wrapping up. But Mary, hi. If any other person wants to come up, Mr. Greg, hi Mary. We're wrapping up, but let's just quickly have you since you're here. How are you?
Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Do you have any question or any perspective?
No, no. I joined in late, but I was just listening, and everything was very helpful.
Okay, that's amazing. That's amazing. Great,
Yeah.
great, great, great. Also, thank you for stopping by. Great.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, yes, man. Okay, it's just Mr. Gregory that cannot come up. Oh my goodness. And any other person. So, Stephanie, I know you cannot come tonight. And Coach Stellar, Mimoy, you're a Babolo. Are you going to come up? Anybody wants to come up in the next few minutes? We are wrapping up, but this has been amazing, Mr. Light. I hope everything goes well with you getting the what's it called? Hello. Okay, can you hear me? Yeah. So with everything, about, the business on your fix and flip and all of that, or your real estate, but I'm always here if there's anything about the long term that you want to, or ETS that you want to learn about. Any other question? Mr. Gregory said, take time, learn whatever you're interested in. Yeah, it's I always say consistency because I've been on both worlds. You try one and you try the other. I've been on trying to be on the fast lane, trying to do, like I said, I did penny stock, I did what's it called? Day trading, I did options trading, and I lost money. But guess I started doing, I did my research and I looked at where does the multi-millionaires and the billionaires, right? Right, the multi-millionaires and the billionaires, if you go on Google right now, where do they put their money? The first is they would say stocks and index funds, right? Right, that's what. Then the number two, they would say real estate. Okay, those are the two places. And then when they asked Warren Buffett, who is the owner of Hathaway, when they asked him, where should we put our money? Which stocks should we be buying? He just said, just have index funds and just keep it that way. Let the consistency, let the compound interest do the job. That's it, right? So I stick with that and I started using that. And then when I looked at ETFs, I realized that like an S&P 500 has returned 8 to 12% averagely for the past 10, 20, 30 years. I looked at, like an SCHG with dividends that is returning dividends. One of the companies that I worked with 8 years ago, for 8 years, which is Procter and Gamble, which is they had paid dividends for the past 100 years, right? Paid dividends over 100 years. So I know and then you have like hundreds of those companies inside the estate. It returns cash flow every single month in terms of dividends. So I've tried that and I see that it's working for me. My investment is growing on a daily basis. I don't need to start racking my head or start looking and saying, okay, which one should I buy? Which one should I buy? Or which one should I not buy? Okay. And it's working. And that's basically where I stick with whatever plan. It might be like, not the fire. And I always say, if your goal is get rich quick scheme, I might not be for you, right? The goal here is, slow and steady. Slow, not exactly slow. I will not say 7 years is even slow. Double your money, it could even be faster, right? Double your money in 10 years. If you put it in a Nasdaq 100, it's even quicker, right? If you buy real estate, instead of you putting it in long-term rental, if you put it in short-term rental, it's quicker. If you use it for business, you put it in group home, it's even faster. So those are things that, using real estate as a business, those are strategies. But ultimately, you realize that you can build something consistently, like the property that we bought for our kids' education. It's not just, that's the things that I want to do. because I can simply use that to fund college. Easy. Do not invest in things that you know nothing about. Yeah, absolutely. That's how I lost money. If you want to invest, learn the market you want. Yeah. So that's just it. So I did the research, and that's what that's what I'm sharing. People have asked me about IUL. I'll tell you, sorry, I do not know. Right? I don't know anything about, because I do not do IUL. I've heard people talk about it. From time to time, people be saying that, okay, there's insurance, and then there's the but you also have the cash value and whatever. But then I also hear that people say that, oh, you know what, I'm losing money to I mean, they did not set it up right for me. The agent was after itself. So how do you know the agent that is good and the one that is bad? So for me, whenever something becomes complex, investing is one of the easiest thing that you can do. Because you can easily open your account, just buy the entire US stock market. So it just keeps you simple. Set it, automate it, and let it go. Market is up, market is down. Iran and the US is fighting. It's none of your business. And you just move on. That's how it is. That's my own, that's how investing. You don't just overcomplicate it and just keep it simple as ABC. But when you start trying to pick and choose, that's where the problem lies. And by the way, how are you guys doing with the gas? Because I'm already pulling my hair, right? I went to the gas station today, and to fill my tank would typically be maybe between $55 and $60. And today, let me unmute people. And today, I got there. It's I got there, and it's how much? It was I paid $100. It was $98 to fill up my tank. Of course, I used the highest grade, but I had to pay $100, and I said, how?
It's part of it. There's nothing anyone can do about
Oh,
it.
I know.
It's part of the economy.
Yeah.
There's nothing. We even pray that it goes down, because it is even expected to go higher than that.
Oh yeah, because the barrel is now 107. It's now 107.
It's expected to go higher than that, but
oh my goodness, I'm pulling my hair.
Let's just be hopeful, and let us just believe that things will. But if it continues the way it's going to go higher than. It's going to go higher than that, and it's going to affect everything. And when we say everything, we mean everything is going to be affected. It's the economy.
Yeah.
If one follows the economy, what is going on, you see that everybody is feeling it. Gas, we are feeling it. Stock that we are even talking about, we are feeling it there.
Oh yeah.
Gold is feeling it. Silver is feeling it. Other commodities